Good afternoon, welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this afternoon. I am just keeping tabs on some of the scorelines in the SPFL this afternoon. There is some interesting scorelines. A certain player at Motherwell has scored a double this afternoon for Motherwell. Celtic, I'm just checking out. Stuttgart do play tomorrow. Over the next couple of weeks, I will keep an eye on the Stuttgart results. Remember that Stuttgart are fifth in the German Bundesliga. They're on 36 points. Stuttgart, way behind. They have no chance of winning the league. Let's quickly go into this before we dive on to. I'll just let you see where Stuttgart are. We'll obviously keep an eye on this for the next couple of weeks to see what the results are with Stuttgart before they meet Celtic. They've done not too bad in the league. It's about their way. With 19 games played, they've got 36 points. Bayern have got 50. Dortmund have got 42. Hoffenheim have got 42. And RB Leipzig have got 36. Tells you anything now. Leverkusen have got 35. Union Berlin away down there. Wolfsburg. Anyway, that is the German league. Some of the results that are coming in the Scottish Championship is Scottish League 1, Alla 1, Cove 0, East Fife 2, Montrose 3, Kelty 0, Hamilton 0, Queen in the South 1, Inverness Cali 2, Stenhousemuir 0, Peterhead 2 this afternoon. Right, let's get it back on to this one. Scottish League 2, Arran 1, Clyde 1, Dumbarton 1, Edinburgh City 2, East Kilbride 3, Forfar 1, Elgin 3, Spartans 3, Stirling Albion 1, Stranraer 1 with 6 or 7 minutes to go in those league games. I think the big one this afternoon, as far as Celtic fans are concerned, is the fact that there's one Ayr United 2, Rafe Rovers 1. It's an interesting one. We'll keep an eye out. Aberdeen's Graham Shinney red carded. That's good news for Celtic fans when it comes to the game on Wednesday night. Fantastic game. That will be even better that they've had a player sent off. Right. Bodo Glimt. Let's talk about Bodo Glimt. I wouldn't, if I was Celtic, I would never deal with Bodo Glimt again. They've put a price tag of 10 million on Kasper Hoch. In a bid to price out Celtic and Norwich. Well, Celtic aren't looking at Kasper anymore. They are looking at other players to come into Celtic. That's one thing that we know for sure. They have been linked, has been in talks with a number of players. In a bid to price, there's one thing, after having a look at the Motherwell player, are we looking, I mean, I know that we're looking from other striking targets. Livingston 0, Motherwell 2, with 83 minutes on the clock. Livingston 0, Motherwell 2 in the SPFL. Sorry, excuse me. That's an interesting score. Just seeing the other scores that are coming up. Kilmarnock are beating Aberdeen 3-0. Livingston are getting beat by Motherwell 2-0. St Mirren versus Dundee, that is 0-0. And the Dundee United Hearts game tonight. That is tonight. Make sure if you want to watch along with that one, I will be doing a live on the Baz Does Football channel. We'll do a watch along with that one just to see how Dundee United fare and to see how Hearts fare. But I tell you one thing, all the chat of the day should be about the fact that a certain player at Motherwell has scored a double this afternoon. Celtic are looking for a striker. There's one that's doing the work in Scottish football. If we're just talking about Martin O'Neill getting a player in, and ultimately not to burden the next manager, Dunfermline getting beat 1-0 by Airdrie. If Martin O'Neill doesn't want to burden the next manager, just get the guy from Motherwell. Do you know? Get him into the end of the season. Do it. He now takes over Benji Egan as top goal scorer in the SPFL with 13 goals. Goal at Dunfermline. There is a goal at Dunfermline. Dunfermline 0, Airdrie 2. Jesus. Lenny's getting absolutely tanked. Lenny's getting tanked there, isn't he? As the goal has just happened this very moment. Dunfermline 0, Airdrie 2. McGrathan scored. Holds 110 million. Just pay it. Didn't deserve fair harassment by European knockouts before. They aren't adverse to selling their attackers at the right price. That's an interesting one. Do you think that he's maybe overpriced for Celtic at that amount? Or do you think that that is a fair price? Well, you seem to think that that is a fair price for him. Get your comments up this afternoon. We'll try and get as many as him. Hey, Shinny's just a Ned. He's just ensured his £4 million price tag ain't going down. We'd be mad not to take him for $3 million plus Welsh. I've said it. Just get the deal done. It's one of the easiest deals that we can do. But you know that Celtic have probably said to him, "Look, we'll leave him with you until the last thing in the window." Now there is news coming out of Italy that the Italian clubs are after Austin Trusty. That's crazy ones. That is crazy ones. But other than that, there is no real update on Celtic getting anyone in. Never happens on a Saturday. You might get some movement tomorrow night, but Monday, it'll be Sunday night that any players that are making a move to Scotland and Celtic will all make their move. I think they'll bring 3 in on the final day of the season. Let me just jump back onto this. Tomorrow night, but Gav boy, did I give you ideas with the big writing? Aberdeen's Graham Shinnie red card. That's good news for us. It is good news. We'll be paying between 6 million, 20 odd years from now, low balling all over the joint. Yeah, that's more than likely. St Mirren 0, Dundee 0. League 1, Alloa 2, Cove 2. We've done those ones. We'll have done those ones. As long as he doesn't score again for Motherwell, we'll still be paying 6 million in 20 years' time, and it'll get you absolutely no one. Casper Ho at 10 million is a no-brainer for a player of his talent. We've got the money, so should spend it before the taxman gets his cut. I'm not too sure. Celtic are not going to spend 10 million on a player again. Not a chance. Let me just turn down this and turn this up a bit so I can hear. I'll get an update on the score lines on this. 90 minutes into the Livingston Motherwell game. It's in the 90th minute in the Livingston Motherwell game, and it is Livingston 0, Motherwell 2. So it looks like the Motherwell target has scored a double this afternoon. Will that be his last game for Motherwell? And will he be at Celtic on a Monday evening? I think if we are going to do that deal, that'll be a late window one, just like it was when we brought in a player from Dundee. Score lines. Why is that not updating? And extra time in the Livingston game, it does look like that will finish the scoreline 2-0 to Motherwell. Ayr United 2, Rafe Rovers 1. That is an interesting one. Let's get some of the other scorelines as they come through. Scottish Premiership, Kilmarnock 3, Aberdeen 0, Livingston 0, Motherwell 2. St Mirren 0. Dundee 0. Hibs versus Rangers tomorrow. Hibs will want to win that one over Rangers, surely. I mean, Rangers have been quite lucky away from home. Celtic play Falkirk. That's not going to be an easy game. Scottish Championship, St Johnstone 2, Partick Thistle 2. Looks like that's a full-time score. Ayr United 2, Raith Rovers 1, Dunfermline 0, Airdrie 2, Morton 2, Ross County 1, Queen's Park 2, Arbroath 1. St Mirren have just had a red card also. No, they had a red card in the game earlier. Interesting. Let me jump into some of the comments. Watching the St Mirren game, never a red card for St Mirren. Nasty Nick Walsh, Ralph. Oh, there we go. It's well done to Airdrie. Motherwell 2 points behind, add an extra million on the transfer fee. Yep. We should have got the boy from Hibs, says Paddy. 6 million. He's off to Italy. And fair play to the young lad from Kirkcaldy. He said in an interview that it's life-changing. Don't know, it's life-changing for him and his family. Obviously came through the ranks at Raith Rovers, went away down south, got picked up by Hibs on a bargain basement deal. He's only been at Hibs just over a year, and he gets a 6 million move. Fair play to Hibs for spotting the player, keeping tabs on him after he left Raith Rovers. You've got to say it was a good piece of business by Hibs. But is that one that will come back to bite Celtic on the bum in years to come, with a player that would have favoured coming to Celtic, it has been said? Is that full time at Aberdeen? No, Aberdeen seem to be still on the 80-minute mark. Aberdeen seem to be 10 minutes behind normal finishing time. Still 3-0 to Kilmarnock. I put that down as a win for Aberdeen. It's unlikely that Aberdeen will lose 2 games on the trot. And let's get the SPFL table and see what changes. Probably better with that one because nope. Let's do this one. Let's get the table. Is that a goal just come in? Not an SPFL, it's not. Still the same. Let's get the live table up on the screen. Motherwell. Still talking about that. Looks like it is coming up for full time at the Motherwell game. Motherwell are only 2 points behind Celtic. They would be absolutely crazy to sell to Celtic, but they have played, obviously they played a game more, but it puts all the pressure on Celtic, doesn't it? Let's checking these scores are coming in. Aberdeen, they'll be raging because I mean, I thought that Aberdeen would have won the game today. That does put pressure on Celtic, but look at the run that Aberdeen have been on. You could say that it's not the best of runs, is it? And you can understand why they're changed manager. But Livingston, Kilmarnock beating Aberdeen, that has to be the result of the day. Celtic Hearts, no. Hamilton, no. That's a full time. Alloa Athletic, 2. Cove Rangers, 2. That's a full time. East Kilbride, 3. Forfar, 1. That's full time. Elgin, 3. Spartans, 3. That is a full time also. Some of the Scottish results that are coming in. Let's jump back onto this screen and we will get an update on transfers. Obviously, Celtic have been making a late transfer scramble. I'm still expecting 3 players to come in tomorrow afternoon and late evening. I think the last one that may get done, I think if Celtic cannot get a striker in, like they are looking for a striker from Europe at 1.5 million. We've got a player in Scotland that seems to be doing quite well. Martin O'Neill maybe doesn't fancy him 100%, but the deal is there to be done with Stephen Welsh. The deal is there to be done, and I think that Celtic should have got that one done. Celtic have opened talks with a 27-year-old Bosnian, scored 17 goals in 42 games last season. Rapid Vienna have seen a 6-month loan deal with an option to buy at 1.5 million rejected this month for the player. Looks like the Livingston game is done and dusted. Queen's Park 2 are both 1 full time. Dumbarton 1, Elgin City 2. Just waiting on these final results. Let's see what some of you are saying in the comments. We should have went for the wee guy from Hibs. I watched a bit of the first half, then switched off. Livingston was honking. His second goal was well taken. Yeah, there we go. Is he a player that Celtic should look at, do you think? Ayr United. Ayr United. Ayr United 2, Rafe Rovers 1. Ayr United 2, Rafe Rovers 1. Dunfermline 2, Dunfermline 0, Airdrie 2. That is a full-time result also. Oh, Neil Lennon won't be happy with that one. Ayr United 2, Rafe Rovers 1 is a final score also. Wouldn't be surprised. I don't even want to put that one up. We're going to get the guy from Motherwell. Well, there's two. Annan 1, Clyde 1, Stirling Albion 1, Stranraer 1. Talking of St. Mirren, I also got an enforcer in the middle. Could be. Taking a gamble on Bowen on the new team will be relegated at the end of the season. He might have a buyout clause then. If they get relegated, there generally is a clause that if they do get relegated, he'll have a sell-on clause for something like 2 million. East 5-2, Montrose 3 is a full-time result also. East 5-2, Montrose 3. Bad injury to Aberdeen player, so they took him off the pitch. Think we should keep Trusty. I think we should keep Trusty. It's us against Aberdeen away on Wednesday. Yeah, we're at home tomorrow. The Sheep have no manager. Maybe they'll get a manager in this week, and they get that new manager bounce again. There's Lenny back in the board midweek on TV. We Dodger. We Dodger. Is that the final score with been battered? Well, it still looks like the Livingston game is the only game that has finished in the SPFL. Motherwell getting that 2-0 win. Bodo Glint pricing a 10 million price tag on him. I wouldn't bother with him. Seriously, wouldn't bother. Interesting one from interesting. certain 23-year-old playing in Serie B has had a decent game this afternoon, by all accounts. Full time, St Mirren nil with their game. St Mirren nil, Dundee nil. That is the second full time. So we are just waiting on the Kilmarnock Aberdeen. Kilmarnock Aberdeen. That's not going to change. That's a fantastic result for Kilmarnock. It's got to be said. But with Celtic travelling to Aberdeen on Wednesday. Sounded like it was a bad one that Shinnie gave the Kilmarnock player. Shinnie's a dirty player, isn't he? Kind of glad he's not playing. Let's get the schedule for Celtic. Wednesday night up in Aberdeen. Jumps into some of these comments. The fact we are suggesting using our deadwood as makeways for SPFL players shows how far we've fallen. Our expectations are so sad. Yeah, it's when you're not going to go and buy a player from Hibs, and you're not going to spend the money. You're going to let him go over to Italy. 6 million, maybe it's too much, but could there have been a deal there to be done? I think that he would have scored goals at Celtic. I think he's got the physicality, but it's all in the past. All in the past, as they say. Just checking an update for transfers. If I don't buy a striker in the window, I'm going to look like a Galda. Oh, Liam. You and that beard. Don't say a word about Lennon. One of my guinea pigs is named after him. Is what interesting watching the Motherwell manager with these players. I wonder if Celtic will make that move. Our days of lowballing SPL teams are over by the Italians coming for the talent in this league. Yeah, that is true. Nobody spoke about until he scored 2 goals against Man City. Maybe the lad wanted Italy. Celtic never made an offer, mate. If Celtic don't make the offer, you go with the club that's making the offer. It's as simple as that. You know, I think Celtic were told the price and went, didn't fancy it. But before the Italians came in, I was told by someone from Kirkcaldy that his preference would have been Celtic if he was to make the move in Scotland. If he was to make the move in Scotland. Just get some of these. Lenny should not be marking these clowns simple. Just getting some more of these comments in. Buy the Motherwell striker now before someone else does. Rangers are interested in Motherwell. I still think that a certain defender at Celtic will have a decision to make, and I think that he will still be. I think that there's a deal being done behind in the back room. I can't see Celtic bringing back Stephen Welsh and leaving him in limbo. And if they have left Stephen Welsh in limbo, it's absolutely disgusting. But you would kind of hope that there's been some kind of gentleman's agreement or something done in the background to get him in. I'm just reading the comments. These are all bonkers. Right, let's get some. Oh, let's get that sort of games all finished in the SPFL. That is the full-time results in the Scottish Premier League this afternoon. Kilmarnock 3, Aberdeen 0, Livingston 0, Motherwell 2, St Mirren 0, Dundee 0. Dundee United play Hearts at 8 p.m. Celtic part-time, and we will be doing a watch along for that one on the Baz Does Football channel. Make sure that you jump over to that if you have nothing else to do on a Saturday night. I don't know, if you just want to chill out, watch some football, have a blether about a game. Italian Football League must be skint. Skint paying 6 million for a prospect. Because let's face it, the boy for Hibs, he's a prospect. I think 6 million for a prospect's a good piece of business. Don't know. Yeah. Welsh still has 2.5 year left on his Celtic contract. Yeah, he's still got 2.5 years on his Celtic contract, but he asked to leave. He asked to go out on loan. He doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to sit around on the bench. He said that to Brendan Rodgers. I don't want to. I want to go and play football. Stephen Welsh is at the age now where he needs to be playing football every week. You know, he's not going to be first team choice at Celtic. He's sat around on the bench and done nothing for long enough. He's been taken away on European trips with Celtic and never used as a substitute. And the lad wants to go and play football. He got the opportunity to go to Motherwell on loan. Motherwell took that obligation up. Celtic even came out and said in December that they were open to letting Stephen Welsh go if the correct bid came in. At the time, Aberdeen still had a manager. Aberdeen said that they were interested in Stephen Welsh because Aberdeen are going down the road of buying up Scottish talent to make sure that they have a core of Scottish players within their team. Their academy must be absolute rank rotten at the moment as well. But when Aberdeen got the price tag and the fact that they were without a manager, they said to Celtic, no thanks. So Celtic still had until the 14th of January to recall, as per the loan agreement. They had until the 14th of January to recall Stephen Welsh in case we needed him. They let go Jamas Simpson-Posey. They let him go back to Manchester City. Manchester City immediately loaned him out to a club in Germany with an option to buy, which Celtic seemingly didn't have. And Stephen Welsh was recalled, and Stephen Welsh knew of the Aberdeen interest, but as soon as Celtic put him in the starting lineup against Auchinleck Talbot, that means there was only one club that he could go to this season, and that was Motherwell. Now, was that kind of sneaky by the Celtic management, or was it a good use of the players? Either way, there'll be people out there that will say it was absolutely sneaky by Celtic, and that then there could only be one team that he could go to. But we'll wait and see. Baz, dust your boots down. We'll need them up front next week. Just going to say, Nicholson's in his own manner, sipping his Pims. Well, we're up to high dough. Please tell that the DD on Epstein files is all AI. I'm glad I don't do that much social media to see that Dermot Desmond's on the Epstein files AI. But anyway, right, that is me done and dusted for this afternoon. Like I say, I will do a watch along on the Baz Does Football channel. We'll have a look at Hearts and Dundee United later on tonight. And then if you don't see you on that, I shall see you on the show first thing tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Sunday morning. Not be a case of Sunday morning up with the lark. It's more a case of have a bit of a lie in. No, it's 9 a.m. 9 a.m. It's 10 a.m. here. I got a bit of a lie in. 9 a.m. Sunday morning, and then it will be full steam ahead. 1st of February, tomorrow. We need to get off to the month with a fantastic winning start. And then there's a small case of a transfer window to go through on Monday. We will be live the majority of the day on Monday, as much as I physically can. So make sure that you have subscribed to the channel to make sure that we can celebrate. Yay! If Celtic managed to get a player over the transfer line. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic evening wherever you are, Celtic fans all around the world.